players on that team. Guess what, Ryan? Do you know how many bankers are out there in the world? Right? Do you know how many truck drivers there are? How many waiters, waitresses? No one's coming out to watch you. No one's dropping. Like, there's not 30,000 people a night coming to see you, Ryan, do what you do in Robinson.
That would be awesome.
They're not dropping $15 a ticket to come watch you work.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And the opposite is, so if they're not getting that money, who is? Everyone hates Bob Nunning, but, let's not put that money back into the players' pockets. Let's let Bob Nunning get more of it. So I'm absolutely with that. And, of course, the minor leaguers. And that's where my biggest beef is the minor leaguers and the pre-arb and ARB guys. More or less pre-arb, I guess. But anyways, like, you are definitely seeing, like you say, this bubble. It's happening in baseball. I mean, teams just aren't paying people. I mean, they don't have to pay them in the minors. They don't have to pay them in the first 3 years. And as you talked about last week, I mean, this is their prime years.
I know.
This is when they're at their best. And they're getting pennies upon it. And they go through arbitration, and like they might max out. I mean, Mookie Betts got $20 million a year, which is outstanding. Everyone's shocked by it. But in the grand scheme of things, getting $20 million. And they're going to free agency, and then people are going to say, "Oh, we won't pay you anymore."
And it's crazy because I don't have an answer for it either. Like, what better system and everything. But
I want to dive more into that. I mean, because I've been talking about it for maybe a little over a year. I'm not going to say like for years now. But I'm a big thing on too. Like, if you're talking about something with no solution, you're just part of the problem, right? You're just a complainer. So I want to kind of sit down and think about what I would do. It's tough.
Our buddy Ethan Houlihan.
We need to meet up with him.
Just tweeted out. This is very fitting to what we're talking about. So he says by his count,
CPA for you.
No, but he says by his count, 4 teams have yet to sign a free agent this year: the Orioles, Marlins, Reds, and Indians. And the Indians are still shopping Kluber, still hearing Kluber to the Padres. But the Reds made that deal though.
But the Reds added talent, right? They made a trade, right?
That's right.
But so why aren't people yelling at them for not signing a free agent?
And
even though they made trades and added
Indians.
talent.
Right.
I know, man.
So,
anyway.
But yeah, so I don't know. The Brewers get Grandal. And so Grandal takes this 1-year deal. I mean, does he think he's going to get paid next offseason? Like, if he didn't get paid this offseason, like at this point, like, I don't know. Should everybody just be on 1-year deals? Like, is that the answer?
Trevor Bauer says yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's also harassing
but he also
teenagers.
says a lot of other things that we won't mention.
He also harasses girls for like days on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's crazy.
Don't buy.
But at this point, yeah, you'd have players trying to prove themselves every year. But yeah, I don't know. And it's crazy because baseball attendance is down, which we just kind of talked about across baseball. But baseball, as far as revenue wise, has never been higher because of the TV and because of BAM and everything that's going on. So it's
more record numbers this year, and like you said, there's even more coming.
Yeah,
tons more coming in the future. Tons more. So billions more coming in the future.
Don't do it.
Billions more.
Don't do it.
Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions.
So yeah, there's that. But let's move on from Grandal. So others were signed this week too, right?
Were signed. We kind of have sort of a little bit of a run on middle infielders, which is very related to the Pirates because we need middle infield help. And I'd say at least 2 of the guys that we talked about a lot, signed. So Brian Dozier signed with the Nationals. Yep. A 1-year deal, $9 million. And then the other one was Jed Lowrie to the Mets for what, $220?
$220. That shocked the hell out of me.
So that is doable. I mean, look, the Pirates could sign someone to a 1-year, $9 million deal, and they could sign somebody to a $220. So I right there, you're like, well, that's within Pirates range. Now the other flip side of that is the player's got to say yes too. So my thing was because I know it was very you were Dozier signed and you were just kind of $9 million. You were it's draining. Why didn't the Pirates sign him? But my thing on that was this is getting to the point where the Nationals even signed him to a 1-year deal for $9 million. Even if the Pirates went out and said, "Here, Dozier, we'll give you a 1-year, $11 million," there's not even a guarantee that he's taking it. He still probably would pick the All-Star Nats.
Sure.
So it's like, at what point, how high would the Pirates have to go on the 1-year deal to even get Dozier, who's a big risk because, he didn't have that great of a year last year.
Mm-hmm. So it all comes down into like what a player wants, like what motivates them. Not everybody's motivated by money. That's for sure. I mean, some are, and that's why you're seeing Manny Machado, Bryce Harper. I mean, basically the biggest contract I'm going to, which more or less it sounds like it's going to be. But some people just, like I've gotten my money, or I'm good. Like they might live modest lifestyles, and it's like, listen, I've already made $20 million in my life, which is not a lot in MLB money. But you think about like, I ever made $20 million, let me just go somewhere now where I'm comfortable at, or, hey, I loved New York when I was growing up. New York's a great city. I would love to go there. And they might be like, okay, this team's offering me $7 million, but New York can offer me $5 million. I'll go there instead because that's where I want to be. Like with Dozier, it could be absolutely true. I mean, Tulowitzki, everyone's offering the same amount of money, He picked New York. And look where they're another team, DJ LeMahieu. We haven't brought him up. 2 years, $20 million. I mean, they're stacking up on middle infielders. I don't even know where Tulowitzki's going to play this year. But to him, maybe it wasn't even really about that. It was just about, listen, I'm going to play with the New York Yankees, and this team's stacked, and I might finally get my, World Series ring. And then if I can reestablish, some talent or value, I can go back out there and do something else. I mean, it just depends on what that player wants. So, right. I mean, the Pirates could technically have, not saying they are, it's nothing to do with that, but offered, Brian Dozier an $11 million contract, like you said. And it's like, yeah, but it's the Pirates and it's Pittsburgh. And listen, this is the Nationals, this is D.C. Let me go there. I've made millions of dollars. I've done that. Been there, done that. I've lived in Minnesota all my life. It wasn't that pleasant. I'm going to Pittsburgh. I'd rather be in D.C. Big metro area. Let me go to D.C. and live it up. You never know.
It sucks, man. It
you're
sucks.
saying makes a ton of sense. I mean, it's not all about money. It really isn't for a lot of people, especially when they've made a lot of money.
Especially when you're offered a $9 million deal and maybe you got an $8 million deal and a 10 or 11 out there. Like, it's like, is there that much of a difference? At that point, you're kind of picking the best location or the best, landing spot. So,
and I'm sure most of us have turned down a job that might have paid more because we'd be happier somewhere else.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, it sucks. I mean, it sucks from a Pirates in a small market aspect. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if they even went out, and we don't know anything. We don't know if they've offered Dozier or even talked to him or his agent. Nothing. We just kind of heard the rumblings and everything, so you don't really know. But it's like, yeah, when guys are even signing 1 year, I mean, guys that were basically, there's a reward, obviously a high reward aspect to it. I mean, Dozier has a pretty good power bat at second base if it pans out. But even
is Lowrie.
But even that, like, Dozier would be on pretty much a bounce back season. So even those guys that are kind of on these 1 year prove it deals, the Pirates still can't even get that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. Lowrie was another one. Yeah, 220 and goes to the Mets. I mean, the Mets.
I guess the age, speaks, but it's like he's coming off some really good seasons, Ryan.
Yeah,
really good
like
seasons.
4 or 5
like he
seasons,
could
isn't he?
annual value. He can only land $1 million more than a Dozier. That just shocks me.
Yeah,
I know it's 2 years, but again, Dozier's gonna get paid $9 million this year, and Lowry's gonna get paid $10 million. I mean, think about that. The value that you can pretty much bank that he's gonna bring this year.
Yeah, 4 WAR season 2 years ago, 4.8 WAR season last year for Lowrie.
$10 million? I mean,
yeah.
if the price of WAR is about $8 million per WAR. I mean, the Mets are basically saying, if you give me 2.5 WAR for the next 2 years combined, we've paid that. You've paid that contract. He's going to outperform that. I mean, they got a steal in that deal. That's the one that ate at me the most, I think. Well, I guess besides Grandal. But, like when I saw that happen, I'm like, God, that could be the Pirates.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like,
I like Frazier, but listen, if you put him in that utility role and have Lowrie at second, man, that's a difference maker.
That Pirates, yeah, you moved Nova out of there, you moved his salary out of there. Like, they have the money. It's a 1 or 2 year deal. Like, you can pull that off. Like, that's that's the deal where you're saying if we're going to give a lot of money to somebody, it had to be on a short-term contract. And that's what we're seeing around the free agency. Everybody's signing these one or 2 year deals. And here's 3 guys, Lowrie, Dozier, and then, LeMahieu, which wasn't really that high on LeMahieu, but he signed a 2-year, 24 deal with the Yankees. So right there, like 3 guys we're seeing that are gone now on these smaller, I wouldn't say expensive
you just
deals.
Keep speaking to me. I mean, LeMahieu's getting paid more than Lowrie.
Right? Like what?
Just dumbfounded by this. Shout out
field
to
aspect.
Alex Stump. I mean, he's been writing about it. He's been dying to do something to have Adam Frazier play shortstop, and I'd have been down for that. If you would have signed Lowrie and put Lowrie at second and just put Adam Frazier at shortstop, I'd have been down with that. Because at that point in time, the value that Lowry's going to bring in a second, whatever Frazier gets at short, it's going to be better than what we're going to have out there right now, probably anyways. Like, I'm cool. Or even want to put Lowrie at shortstop. But, man, I mean, that price point, $10 million a season, like the Pirates couldn't have done that. Ugh.
How many, but speaking of the Yankees, how many infielders do they have right now?
All of them. They have every single infielder.
Right? It's crazy to me. I don't know. I mean, look, second base was second base. We have Frazier and we have Kramer. Like, I don't think the Pirates were looking as vitally at second base as they should be at shortstop. Now, Iglesias is still out there. Galvis is still out there. We've been talking about these two, I swear, for every single week, it seems like. So
because they're still out there.
Right. So something still could happen there. Now, this week, watch, we'll have a run on shortstops. Iglesias will go for like $6 and to the Mets. And then, the Dodgers will sign Galvis for $1 million to back up.
The Dodgers, the Yankees are scooping him up too.
But it's like, I mean, are we going to go after these guys, or are we just going to roll with Gonzalez?
No, because we got Slegers.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about just infields now. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit not deflating, but it's just when you see these deals where it's like, even the big teams, the Nationals, the Yankees are doing these pretty relatively cheap short-term deals. It's kind of a punch to the gut.
Yep. So let's talk now. I mean, maybe we should give our temperature every week, because I guess now is a good point in time to do it.
Well,
because
it's cold outside
meetings,
right
we
now.
we talked about how, be patient, especially that Reds trade. Listen, what's really happened out there? Be patient. And I said it then. Listen, when the end of the offseason happens and the Pirates don't have anything, then by all means, I'll be there complaining with you. Trust me. But just be patient. Let's see what happens. Well, each week, some more dominoes fall. Mm-hmm. And this week, it seemed like it was the biggest punch to the gut to me, because it was Grandal, literally the person and exact contract that we spoke of like 3 days prior. And then, like you said, it's a run of middle infielders, which is what we need. Now, not per se, we more or less need the shortstop side of it. But still, 3 middle infielders signed for contracts you could only imagine the Pirates could afford. Yeah, it was the biggest punch to the gut. So now how do you feel? Little more worried? Little more discouraged? Perplexed? Confused? Ready to find a new team?
I was kind of worried the past couple weeks, but
right.
I'm still I guess I'm in the same spot. I really didn't think maybe Dozier. I didn't really think the other ones would happen. Like I said, I'm more interested in the shortstop and the 5th spot in the rotation at this point. And it just doesn't look like the shortstops are still out there. Starting pitching with the Slegers pickup is starting to worry me a little bit. I think we're going to settle and stick with Kingham and Slegers and, maybe Lyles or maybe some kind of, creative bullpen opener option. But, yeah, the shortstop, it's worrying me a little bit. More and more as each week goes by.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm definitely going to say this week is probably the biggest difference I've had from a week over a week temperature, per se.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing is not only that, but when we talked about the Reds, we're like, come on, who's really worried about this? Because it's the Reds,
I'm still not worried about the Reds.
We saw what the Reds did, then you saw what the Cardinals did, and now like the Brewers are jumping in, you see Grandal. So now you're seeing things happen that you could potentially see the Pirates doing, but it is going within division. Like Grandal going to the